All right. Are we live? Says we have an excellent connection. And there we are. All right, guys. So I just kind of want to jump into this really quick and let you guys know about some breaking news. Antifa is back in Portland. Just now. Well, they're doing a march, right? And I'm going to show you guys a couple clips here. It's been on Twitter. I grabbed them off of Twitter, so the quality might not be great. But I figured I would throw these up for you and kind of let you know what's going on. I had no idea there was an event today, or else I might have been down there. Especially daylight. There's lots of cameras and streamers, so there's lots of footage. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys these, and then we'll chat about it a little bit.
Back up! What are you doing? Come outside! Yeah! Pull it! Do it! You don't scare me! You don't fucking scare me, bitch!
That's not gonna hold. That will not hold.
That is not gonna hold! Your job's right!
Those are not that great.
You can't put some hammers on. Do it! You shouldn't have put hammers on the outside. He don't like it.
Oh, look at your guys' new window.
Move back. You ain't tough. What's up? You ain't tough. Get back. Take your bags off. Take your bags off and sit on this. I'll knock you out. You fucking the shit. I'll fuck you up.
Okay, there we go. Now I'm not muted anymore. So that's fun. Like I said, like I was trying to say, this is my first time doing this whole live studio thing with you guys. So there's obviously going to be some bugs. Awesome. That's good times. So did it, so it looks like also that it shut off the sound for the video. That's stupid. Shouldn't have done that. So, hey, first time. This is the first one, guys. So bear with me. Good thing that most of that stuff you guys didn't really need to hear anyway. It was mostly the visual that was important there. But how's the sound? Is the sound okay? And can I move and stuff and it's not buffering like it was before? Because I changed some resolution stuff. And, so I muted me and then I was just gone. So there is a delay. I did add a little bit of a delay to make it so it wouldn't buffer so much too. So that's one thing that I was saying as I was, muted. So good times. Good times. Awesome. And it looks like it's clear. I mean, from what I can see, it's pretty clear. And I'm not moving much yet. Yeah, I know. Let's give it a test. Can you see me? Can you see me? Can you see me? Is it, because last time I was doing this, it kind of like, it just totally just froze. The audio was great, but the video just stopped. So that was stupid. But I think I fixed it. I hope I fixed it. Like the shirt. Hey, I sell these. Anyway. Color now is much better. Clear picture. Cool. All right. So I'm going to move on with this now that we got that out of the way. So, breaking news, guys. Antifa's back in daylight. And they're smashing windows and attacking cops. Weird. Hey, but the main thing, so like everybody's like, oh, yay, Antifa's back, whatever. But, so check this out. Security guard there guarding the bank, guarding the Chase Bank. It was Chase Bank that security guard was in that he ended up having to draw his gun. Funny story. A few years ago, right when I first started filming, there was one other guy out there named Mike Strickland. And he was out filming Don't Shoot PDX and Black Lives Matter before I was. And they already didn't like him. One day he's out there filming and they're actually talking about him during their little pre-march, powwow thing. And they're talking about killing him, how they want to kill him. He was the only guy out there filming. And so they're sitting there and they're talking about killing him and somebody sees him. So he starts walking away. He starts leaving. And somebody sees him, they follow him. A whole bunch of guys are following him. He's warning them. There's a whole bunch of cameras on him too. People are filming all of this happening and people are coming up. They're getting really aggressive. They're coming up at him. Well, they said they were going to kill him. So what would you do in that situation? Let me add a little thing. You're armed and they're coming to kill you. And they're threatening you, and they have weapons, and they have all of these things. He pulls his gun, just like that security guard did. That security guard pulled his gun because he thought his life was in danger, right? So Mike Strickland pulls his gun as he's backing away from the crowd, which probably saved his life. I won't say probably. It definitely saved his life. He backs away to a group of cops that were a block or two down. The cops arrest him and he spent the next, I don't remember how long, in jail waiting for his trial. Now his biggest mistake that he made was having a judge trial, because odds are you'd be able to find at least one juror that might, agree with the facts and the footage and everything that came out, justifying the fact that you pulled your weapon to save your life. But he went with a judge trial, and the judge, of course, found him guilty. But the question is, will the same standard be held up for the security guard with the Chase Bank? I don't know. You think they will? They might. So I wanted to do this show. So that Antifa thing, that's breaking news. It's happening right now. They're attacking the courthouse right now. But there's a whole bunch of things that I wanted to talk about today. And one of them are, some of these stupid headlines that I saw. And one of the most ridiculous headlines that I saw today, or not today, this last week, was Amazon. Amazon changed their logo. Now here's their logo. And it says, you got the old one. Everybody knew the old one, the cart and everything, right? And then a month ago, they changed it to that one. And then they changed it really fast to that third one there on the right. Now, why would they change those logos? Do you know why they changed the logos? Because that second one there looked like Hitler, apparently. Now, I want to show it to you again. Let me show it to you one more time. The middle one there looks like Hitler. Do you see it? I don't see it. Now, I'm going to assume that they're talking about the mustache, right? Maybe it's the mustache. But again, let's look at it one more time. That's a smile. That's a smile there, guys. Obviously, that's a smile. Have you ever seen a picture of Hitler? He doesn't smile. There is no way that that looks like that. I don't see it. Again, Hitler and the piece of tape on the box. Now, am I the only one that thinks that that's absolutely redonkulous? I mean, seriously. How stupid are we now as a people? Not just as Americans, but as people. That we can look at any sort of imagery like that and go, oh yeah, that's Hitler. Can't do that. We can't have that because that's Hitler. Obviously that's Hitler. So we got to take that away and change it to make it so it's now Hitler who shaved a little bit right there. Like, I don't, welcome to the 21st century. But wait, there's more. And it's amazing. It is so utterly amazing how much more insanity there is in this world. Now check this out.
I'd give up my gun when everybody else does.
And is that
Doesn't that make sense?
Well,
doesn't that make sense? I mean, if you were if there were guns here, would you want to be the only person without one?
So do you carry guns
No,
routinely at home? I mean, you have a gun at home?
Yeah, it's legal in the United States. It's part of our Constitution. You know, the right to bear arms is because that's the last form of defense against tyranny. Not to hunt. It's to protect yourself from the police.
And do you see any link between that and these sorts of incidents?
No. Nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? If somebody wants to kill people, you know, they don't need a gun to do it.
Makes it easier though, doesn't it?
Not really. You can use you can strap explosives on your body. They do that all the time.
So when there's the inevitable backlash of the anti-gun lobby as a result of this incident, as there always is.
Well, that's not going to change anything in the United States.
Anything.
No. The United States is based on guns. You know, like KRS says, you'll never have justice on stolen land. So it's not going to change.
All right, now minus the stolen land thing. Hey, you guys can hear me now. Boom, check it out. Fixing the glitches. Anyway, so you might be wondering why I played that video. YouTube, for some reason, has decided that that video needs to be seen by everybody. That video is getting over 50,000 views a day out of nowhere. The video, I put the video out there 3-4 years ago when he did this interview, and it's going nuts. So because it's going nuts, there's a whole bunch of people out there commenting on it, and it's going to everybody, mind you. It's not going to people that are like, you know, you and me who believe in things like freedom and liberty and so on, and the Second Amendment. It's going to everybody. You know, so it's getting a whole bunch of amazing comments on it. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out and just go read through the comments. People are going like, people are really hinging up on that stolen land thing. And they're like, oh, it's stupid. And then other people are jumping on the whole Second Amendment and fighting the police. And they're like, oh, no, you can't do that. So the headline of the video that I put out was that Ice-T destroys every liberal argument there is about gun control. Now, I get it. A lot of people might not agree with that. I think so. Because you have a pop icon, a guy who's lived many different lives. The guy has a very, very amazing history, very, very eclectic history. He's done a lot of things. But even he can sit there and talk about tyranny, right? And he can talk about, and a lot of people get hinged up on that whole, like, you got to have guns to protect yourself against the police. But I mean, think about it for a second. What is tyranny? When tyranny comes fully into this country, well, who's going to be coming to get your guns? Who's going to be coming to throw you into camps? And, you know, the police that stay are going to be the ones doing that. The military that stays in the military when this happens is going to be the ones doing that. So some of the comments were amazing. And I wanted to show you guys a couple of those comments and talk about them for a second. Sinister Veritas says, what a crock. The Second Amendment was not set up to protect yourself from the police. It was set up so that our government could raise an army quickly, because back when the Constitution was written, the standing army was very small. Sort of. But again, back when the Constitution was written, the police were wearing red jackets, and they were like, arresting you and killing you if you said anything bad about the king and all of that good stuff. But besides that, it was set up so that our government could raise an army quickly, because back then a standing army was very small. Fair point. But one must also remember that raising that army was normal everyday citizens, not military. It was people who lived in a neighborhood or a state who decided to go fight for their country. That is who that was for. The militias, not the National Guard. The National Guard didn't exist for quite some time after that. We had militias, normal everyday Joes and Schmoes going out there with their guns to stand up for freedom and liberty. So there was another comment that really, really just stuck out to me. And it said, the last form of defense against tyranny? The Second Amendment is a law written in 1791. I thought America was an advanced society, but this statement suggests citizens can't trust the elected government, police, and armed forces, so must have the ability to take matters into their own hands. That's known as anarchy. It made sense in 1791, but it really is lunacy in 2021. Good example why you can't argue with an American on gun laws. But Ice-T is right that the U.S. is based on guns. Guns in America are a bit like Obama's silly nuclear-free world. You can't reverse what has happened, and bad people don't care about the virtuous. It's all very sad, really. Wrong. Here's the thing. What our public school system has done to this country and to those who live in this country and our young people in this country is they go, history. Stop. You're just being silly. We don't care about history. We don't care about anything that has to do with the past, because the past is irrelevant, because the past doesn't matter. Sad fact, though, that so many people alive today have not only witnessed, but have also lived in what a gun-free society can bring you. We have China, we have Germany, we have Russia, we have Vietnam, we have Cambodia, we have North Korea. We have how many other recent events in the 20th century do we need to go over the millions upon millions of people who have been murdered because they did not have the human right to self-defense against tyranny and a tyrannical government? I'll bet you money that all those Muslims in China wish that they could have a gun right now so that they're not locked up in concentration camps like the Jews merely, 70, 80 years before them? This isn't rocket science. This is literally basic history. Basic history that so many of our children have no idea about. A lot of you might not have heard me tell the story before, but there's kids out there that don't even know what the Holocaust was. And they have no idea what Auschwitz was like. A great example is my wife. We're sitting there watching Band of Brothers, and we're towards the end there when they're liberating Auschwitz, and she goes, "What is that?" Because I told her the whole thing is based off true events and so on, and she didn't know what it was. She had no idea what that was. She's never been shown that before. And that's not something you forget. You don't forget images and video and depictions of concentration camps and death camps that were all over the place in Europe because of the Germans, because of the Nazis. You don't forget that. She was never shown that. She had no idea that stuff went on, that stuff happened. And I made the mistake of going, well, hey, let me teach you. Let me show you some stuff. Let me show you the pianist. And that shows, what happened in Warsaw and so on. And for those of you who don't know, which most of you do not, my wife is a very happy, bubbly, bright person. She loves cartoons. She just loves happy. She does not do well with negative. She does not do well with dark. So she is a very happy. She loves hanging out with all of her nieces and kids and stuff, and showing them all the happiness that can exist in this world. So I got as far as the pianist when it came to showing her what that was, and that was as far as I would be willing to take it, at least for a while, so she can recover from the horrors that she witnessed just watching that movie. And there's so many kids out there today that still have no idea. They have no clue what that is. And because they don't know what that is, because they don't know what happened in our recent history where people are still alive today who dealt with it and lived it. Oh yeah, we get to get all these gun laws going away. We have idiots out there that talk about, yeah, we're going to come get your guns. And then you got all these leftists that sit there and say that doesn't even exist, that nobody wants to take your guns away, but they've said it. Joe Biden himself has said it when he said Beto O'Rourke is going to be my gun guy. And Beto O'Rourke literally said on national television, hell yes, we're going to come get your guns. Yeah, but we're paranoid conspiracy theorists and so on. But again, talking about guns and stuff, if you guys are living in the Pacific Northwest, you're already aware that we have some horrific gun laws in this state, in Washington state. We have horrific gun laws in Oregon, and everybody knows that we have horrific gun laws in California. In Washington and Oregon, we actually have laws on the books. We have red flag laws on the books. That was Donald Trump's strike one for me, by the way, when he started supporting red flag laws. That's a bad, bad deal. Red flag laws take away all sorts of due process. But Washington took it a step further than just red flag laws. And Washington said, you cannot transfer a firearm from one person to another without doing a background check. I couldn't sell you a rifle or a pistol or whatever without me taking you to a background check. But it went further than that. I can't even loan you my rifle to go hunting with or anything like that, unless I take you to a dealer and have you do a background check. If I were to hand you a rifle and it was to be in your possession at the time of a crime, and it doesn't matter what kind of crime, the gun doesn't even have to be used in a crime. If you were in possession of my rifle going hunting and you accidentally hit a pedestrian when they jumped across the road in front of you, or if you got a speeding ticket or something like that, guess what? I'm a felon because of these ridiculous gun laws. And they totally cheated to try to get them in. They totally changed they prettied up the ballot. They were like, we need to make it so that domestic abusers don't have the ability to buy guns, and we need enhanced background checks. That's what enhanced background checks mean, at least for Washington State. Enhanced background checks means, you hand your gun to somebody, it better be background check and paperwork on file to make sure that they don't go off and shoot anybody, and that you relinquish your responsibility to them, essentially, which, again, doesn't happen. Like, we have how many law-abiding citizens are actually out there killing people? Like none, nobody. Good luck trying to find more than 5 people who've ever had a concealed carry permit that was arrested for, killing somebody unjustifiably. Sorry, my brain stopped working there for a second. So, these are things that matter to people. They just slide it in. I mean, no guns for domestic abusers? No, that's already a thing. Yeah. But they added it to the description of the bill, so it got people really, oh yeah, domestic abusers, they can't do it. I'm going to vote for that. But it was a lie. It was totally dishonest. And they're going to do it to your states. If you live in a red state, if you live in like places like Idaho, or if you live in places like Montana, Wyoming, Texas, they're going to sneak in some of these bills. They're going to sneak in some of this stuff. In Oregon, when they snuck in theirs, they even put a clause on it saying it cannot be repealed by the voter. I wonder why they would do that. Oh yeah, it's because previously it was on the ballot and the voters said no. So the legislature rewrote it just a little bit and they put it in with a clause saying that the voters cannot vote it out. Now, how is that okay? But hey, don't worry, it's just Washington and Oregon, right? No, it's spreading out. So in Washington, and if you live on the West Coast, you understand that if Washington passes something that's super tyrannical and taking away your freedom, Oregon's going to be quick to do it too. And California is going to go, shoot, we invented that years ago. So if you live in the Pacific Northwest, you should show up. You should show up on Saturday in Olympia at noon at the state capitol and come up and stand against this new one that they're trying to shove down your throats. They are trying to pass a law that says if you open carry your sidearm or rifle, it doesn't matter. If you open carry a weapon, a firearm, it's a felony. That it's a felony. You're going to get arrested for open carry. Now, Washington State is an open carry state. You can open carry anywhere in the state. It is open carry. They want to make it a felony. They're trying to call it brandishing. If you're walking around with a pistol, if you're walking around with a rifle, you're brandishing it, and therefore it's threatening, and therefore it'll be a felony if they catch you doing it. That's not okay. That's really, really not okay. So if you're living in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon is also an open carry state. Idaho, hey, there's a lot of Washingtonians and Oregonians moving to Idaho. And Californians, don't forget them. They're moving to Idaho. Idaho's like what, the number 1 or number 2 state for people going to it? Yeah, it's something you guys need to think about. So if we can stop it here in Washington, if we can actually cut this out in Washington with a resounding no, then the ripple effect might not happen. The other states might sit there and go, ooh, this super blue state of Washington couldn't pass something like this. Maybe we should probably give it some time. Maybe we can get some more liberals to have babies and more illegals to come in, and maybe we can get that amnesty thing and we'll just pass anything we want after that. Show up. Show up. People, arrive. But not just the Second Amendment thing. There is also a freedom rally. And the freedom rally is starting at 1 o'clock down at Heritage Park. It's a little bit below the Capitol. You could park in the middle. It's not that far of a walk. Antifa walks up from Heritage Park to the Capitol all the time. So it's obviously not that far of a walk. And but it's another important topic. Open up the state. Open up Washington State. Other states are doing it. Everybody's doing pretty good. The whole COVID thing went like this, and then it kind of leveled out, and then it died. Right? It's nothing really now. So lots of states are opening up. Inslee should do the exact same thing. Now, yes, a lot of people are going, just like, in California Governor Newsom there, he's getting recalled, but so he's like, ooh, no, let's go ahead and open some of this stuff up. It's okay. Yeah, let's, maybe you'll like me a little bit more. And that's exactly what Inslee's doing. Inslee's going, we're going to go ahead and open it up a little bit at a time. But guess what, guys? We've had a year. We've had an entire year now where everybody could have stood up against the tyranny, but very, very few people did. Very, very few people actually stood up. So, hey, better late than never. But even if you don't care about the lockdown, you should care about your Second Amendment. Very, very important. Very, very we need to get her done. Okay? And speaking of Washington, I'll go ahead and transition on into this. And I do apologize, guys. I cannot see your comments. I will go ahead and at the end, I'll get some time where we'll just chat and hang out a little bit. I don't have really too much more to go for stuff I wanted to cover. So that is coming up. But I just there's a couple things here that I really wanted to talk about a little bit more. And we'll get into that. So, the Seattle Times published an article. And the article is about how King County, which for those of you who don't know, King County is essentially Seattle and the Seattle metro area. Beginning March 22nd, hundreds of grocery employees throughout King County will get additional money in their pockets when a $4 per hour raise goes into effect. The King County Council Thursday passed hazard pay legislation for grocery employees. grocery employees working in the unincorporated area of King County for the duration of executive, I don't even know, coronavirus's emergency order. King County joins Seattle and cities elsewhere in the country by requiring the $4 pay raise. King County grocery employees who work 32 hours a week could potentially earn an additional $120 that could go towards childcare or mental health services, said a local grocery union. Gosh, love them. Worked for them for a year. Talk about worthless. Anyway, moving on. The additional pay for grocery workers is designed to compensate employees for taking the additional risk of exposure to coronavirus while working during the pandemic. The ordinance will grant an additional $4 per hour to workers in unincorporated King County at stores over 10,000 square feet and mostly sell groceries, or at retail stores over 85,000 square feet where at least 30% of the store is used to sell groceries. The employers must employ at least 500 workers worldwide. Check that out. With at least one employee working at a store in unincorporated King County. It does not apply to people who work at convenience stores or in farmers markets. Weird. Exempt businesses include those in areas without many fresh food options that are at least 2 miles away from a grocery store that would be required to provide the hazard pay. Additionally, the owner-operator must be independent and have 4 or fewer open stores and employ fewer than 25 workers at the location. Yeah, so it's the companies that have to pay that, by the way. It's not the county flipping the bill for these $4 an hour raises that are going to these people at the very end of the pandemic where none of the essential workers died. Am I the only one that finds that stupid? This is why I brought this one up, because I'm going, okay, so we're at the end now. Everybody's fine. Everybody's cool. It still has a 99.96% survival rate, and the states that stayed open did better than those that didn't. Look at South Dakota, look at Florida, look at some of these other states that stayed open pretty much the whole time, and look at California, and look at New York. Look how many people died there for the lockdown. And again, though, they never really had an essential worker shortage, did they? Did you see the same people at Walmart and Safeway and Albertsons and Fred Meyer's and whatever other grocery stores you might have in your area? You saw the same guys every time you went in. They're still there. They're still fine. They're still doing good. They actually got to work the whole time while so many millions upon millions of other people lost their jobs and lost everything, lost their businesses. But no, this is fine. This is fine. A $4 pay increase mandated. So a company has to pay it. It's not like you can, just close it, right? I mean, $4. When I used to manage Walmarts, let's see, I had 300 direct employees that worked at my location, or all of my locations. We averaged about 300 people. So let's see, 300 times 4 an hour times. You see where I'm going with that? This is basic stuff. If you've ever owned a business or ran a business, you understand how a 25-cent pay raise adds up. So making that a $4 pay increase. Are you kidding me? This is not how a free market works. The government should not be able to have the ability to do this. The market should have the ability to do this. A $15 an hour minimum wage is going to, and they admit it, by the way, they admit that a $15 minimum wage is going to kill jobs. But don't worry, we're going to have lots of solar panel jobs coming in from China. No, we're going to ship you to China so you can get those solar panel jobs. Yeah, because that's going to happen. So don't worry about that. Yeah. So am I the only one here? Am I the only one that's crazy? Thinking that $4 at the end of the pandemic is just virtue signaling? Hey guys, please vote us in. Vote us back in, please. We didn't forget about you, because that's how the Democrats rule, right? The Democrats rule by buying your vote. You vote for us, and we're going to make sure you get lots of money. How do you guys like that? Their stimulus check package thing they're going to be, that they just passed and Joe Biden just signed. Hey, child tax credit, $3,600 per kid, brought to you by the Democrats. Not one single Republican voted for that. golly gee, you bet you're going to be voting for Democrats for a long time now. You got that whole $3,600, and that's going to make up a little bit for that. You're only getting $1,600 stimulus check instead of the $2,000 that we promised you. But Trump gave you $600 already, so we're only going to give you $1,400, and that's perfectly fine too. Because hey, Democrats did it. Not one single Republican voted for it. Hoorah! Hey guys, money. Go ahead and vote for me. I'm going to make sure you get lots of money. You don't have to work or have a job or anything. You know what? You could, if you want to, work part-time at McDonald's, make $15 an hour flipping burgers and getting orders wrong all the time. No, it's fine. Yeah, so that's cool. But hey, let's talk about one more thing. And don't worry, this is the last thing I wanted to cover today, but I think it's going to, it might bother you. It bothered me. This isn't American news, but it's coming.
En dat terwijl die volwassenen dus helemaal naakt zijn.
Onze prachtige modellen mogen hun badjassen laten vallen.
Ik heb een vraag aan jullie.
Well, that was stupid. That was dumb. So you guys didn't really see it very well. Whatever. First time, don't judge. It'll be better next time. No, it won't. I'll still have the same stupid mistakes. So for what those of you, thought you just saw, the trailer for Simply Naked, which is set to air on public broadcaster NTR, shows a group of adults whipping off their robes in front of an audience of children aged between 10 and 12, Dutch News reports. The youngsters are then encouraged to ask the adults questions about their bodies and how comfortable they feel in their own skin. The show's producers say there is no questions related to sex and that it is up to parents to decide if it is appropriate for their kids to watch. TV presenter Edison de Gracia told NOS, the aim is to teach children that each and every body is different and that not all bodies are perfect. However, it has been slammed by some who think it is inappropriate. No, really? Are you serious? You really think it's inappropriate? Do you really think that it's just inappropriate, fella? I don't know if I actually was able to read that. If you guys could hear that. Could you hear that? Oh man. I hope you could hear me reading that. If not, I hope you guys could read it very well. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and move on here and show you guys, finish up. So like the main thing here is like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? There's lots of different ways to show children that their bodies are different. You don't have to whip it off to teach them that bodies are different and that your body's you and so on and so forth. And gotta love how America always looks to Europe, right? To go, hey, we should do that. I hope that doesn't come in to this country. It probably will. It probably already is. I mean, they're already trying to make pedophilia a sexual preference, right? But I will say one thing, though. I will say one thing, and one bit out of that said the show's producers say there are no questions related to sex. I don't know how that's possible, and that it is up to parents to decide if it is appropriate for their kids to watch. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. The things the thing that freaks me out is that this is on public TV. It's like PBS for the Netherlands. It's PBS. Like, this is right there after Sesame Street. So, I mean, that freaks me out a little bit. But, it brings up another point, though, right? Like, it is up to the parents to decide if it's appropriate for their kids to watch. What do we do there? What do we do? Do we limit the speech? Do we limit the broadcasting? Or do we let it happen and make people be adults and parents and actually do the right thing? I mean, if you think about it, the left's whole idea of freedom is that you're not smart enough to make your own decisions. And you know what? For half of the population, it's true. They're not smart enough to make their own decisions. For half of the population, they can't accomplish anything. on their own. They believe that the government really needs to make the decisions for them. And so something like this, something like a bunch of kids watching a bunch of adults take their clothes off so they can answer questions about the body, they're like, okay, well, that's fine. Personal responsibility doesn't matter. We'll just, TV's the babysitter for our kids anyway, right? So, I mean, that's something to think about. Something to think about when it comes to free speech. Do we, cancel culture and so on? Like, we don't like cancel culture because it's limiting people's speech, right? There was a huge, if you know anything about history, there was a huge movement against Playboy and Hustler and, pornos and stuff like that. And it was decided that, First Amendment mattered. So does, for something like this, like, it's gross, it's stupid, it's horrible. I personally sit there and think it's just disgusting and ridiculous beyond belief. But would I, but how far does that go? Philosophically, what do we do? All right. Anyway, so those are the topics that I wanted to talk about for this first ever glitchy show. I mean, I think we got some bugs taken out and fixed, and some, new ones arrived. So it's a learning process. Don't forget, go to libertyorddeathac.com. I sell shirts and stuff. If you want to, check those out. And then the thing that I think I'm most proud of, bam, I wrote a book. And check it out today. Miraculously, I was planning on doing this for a while, but today it's also on Audible, narrated by me, yours truly. You bet. I read the book for all you guys, which goes to show how short it is. But at least, but it's good. It's full of wonderful information. I actually spent a long time writing it. So, check it out. On Amazon, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Audible. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I do have a bit of a delay going on. So when it comes to me answering your guys' questions and chit-chatting with you guys, it's going to be a little slow. Yeah, definitely smash that like button, guys. And if you guys are a subscriber, make sure you hit the bell and all notifications. Otherwise, you will not see another notification for this. For my shows, for my footage, for anything at all. Let's see. I'll scroll back a little bit while you guys are coming up with some comments, see if I can find some things that somebody might have asked. Oh, my wife told me to sing while I'm having some silence because I went back and watched my video with her, and you guys can, this mic is really, really good, so you can hear me breathing really, really well. And that's creepy. So while I'm doing this, she said I'm supposed to sing or hold my breath. And to be honest, singing, it makes me nervous to sing in front of all you wonderful people. I mean, I'll cook a mini cake or something, but singing in front of you guys, it's weird. Yeah, seeing Creepy Joe talk, that's rough. So I saw a question here. Thank you, Drink Water, for asking a question and let me see it, so I didn't have to sing. Let's see here. The events on Saturday. Bam. Second Amendment rally at the state capitol building is noon to 2, and then the Open Washington rally is at Heritage Park, just down the hill from the Capitol building, at 1. So, I mean, it's really feasible to hit both of them. I will probably see what, I don't know. I'm definitely obviously going to start at the Capitol and then go down. This is, it's important stuff, very important stuff to go to and attend. Even if, I get a lot of excuses. I get a lot of excuses as to why people do not go to rallies. I actually put a poll out, and that's one thing I forgot about today. Putting up here was the results of the poll. So I put the poll up 2 days ago. And the question was, have you ever gone to a political rally or a protest? Now, out of 3,000 votes, only 5% of them said regularly. 25% yes, but only a couple times. 37% said no, but I want to. And then 33% said hell no, never have, never will. And then only 1% said been to them, I host them. Now, what makes me sad is the hell no, never have, never will. That's the second highest number, is hell no, never have, never will. At 33%. 37% said no, but I want to. That's a problem. How can you not want to go? How can you just absolutely say, I'm not going to go to a rally? How can you say that? How can you not care about your country enough? How can you not care that much about it? Hell no, never have, never will. Are you kidding? There's so many things that are important. Your life, your liberty, your freedom, your job, your car, your fuel. Everything about your life hinges upon politics. You can't sit there and go, I don't care about politics. Unless, of course, the president's mean, in which case I'm going to vote because he said mean things. Because I don't even care about Joe Biden. Because he's just an old, nice man and he sniffs little people. So, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But, it's just, people have to be involved. People somehow, some way don't understand that if they stay seated, if they don't show up, if they decide to say, nah, screw it, I don't care enough. Well, guess what? You're sitting in front of those food bank lines for a year because you don't have a job, because you sat down. And you can't afford to live, and you lost your business, and you lost everything. This whole COVID thing was an experiment, guys. COVID was an experiment. How much can we do? How much can we screw you over? That's COVID. Sure, yeah, some people died. A few people died. Big picture-wise, a few people died. They didn't die more in places that had freedom. They didn't die less in places that got locked down. As a matter of fact, it was reversed. Places with freedom had much better survival rates than people that were locked down and stuck at home. Survival rates were considerably better in places where people could still live their lives. But nobody did anything in those places that could be locked down. Very few people did anything. But if you could get 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 people to show up and sit there and go, no, we're not going to let you do that anymore. They listen. I don't get it. I don't understand how people can say never have gone to an event, never gone to a protest or a rally, and never will. I don't understand. Drag the interstate people should reorganize. We had a ton of people participating in Southwest Washington. Yeah, there was a lot of people. They should still go to events. Still go and show up. Just, drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. Well, guys, I think that I'm going to call it. Not very many people chatting, or at least I'm not seeing it. If I'm missing comments and stuff, I really apologize because I do not see them. Let's see here. Hello, Frank. Hello, F YouTube. Hello, everybody. I'm thinking that I'm not being shown a lot of the comments because, yeah, I don't know. It might be a bug. It could be the delay. Robert, what's the fuss with Luis Marquez on Twitter? I don't know. They want him out. Oh, so Luis Marquez, like, there's been a lot of people on the left and the right that call Luis an FBI informant. And then the reason being and why they call him an FBI informant is because he should have been in prison many, many times over. But the FBI has never done anything to him, and he's only like stayed overnight and then charges dropped every time. So odds are, that the left is probably saying the same thing. And that's probably also why Dustin is now the de facto general of the special crew. That was not Biden. Biden has a scar above his right brow and a full chin, not a double chin. Yeah, could be Biden's stump double coming down. Found a younger, more more volatile guy. Let's see. Is Tom the one holding up the Washington rally? I know he's advertising it a lot. I don't know. I also know that he's advertising the Second Amendment one too. But I don't know who's putting them on, honestly. I know that the reason that they're not doing them together, which makes me very sad and unhappy about the about the two rallies being in two different places, is that the Open Up Washington rally is trying to be geared to be more neutral, to be more middle of the ground, not so like blatantly freedom, right wingers, woohoo, yay, liberty. That it's more, hey guys, would you like to talk a little bit about why we should open up your state and maybe have a little conversation about freedom. Here's my book, and it's the Constitution of the United States, and this explains why freedom is important and what the government can or cannot do. Even though nobody really cares about it anymore. But I'd still like to talk to you about freedom for a minute, if you wouldn't mind. And I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it's supposed to be the thing. How do you have 104 likes and only 52 people here? They like it so much, but they left. Oh, yeah. So super fun. When I do my live streams, a lot of people, have lives and they do other things and so on. And, apparently this stuff might get boring. So the average watch time, no joke, the average watch time is 2 minutes and 19 seconds right now at this very moment. It's got 1,141 people have seen it, hung out for about 2 minutes, and then bounced. And they made the mask mandate to help Antifa not get exposed. Oh man, for so long I wanted to do a show, and I kept on, like, I think about it when I see it and then it goes away. But so Washington State has these Department of Transportation electronic billboards, right? So like they put out amber alerts and silver alerts on them, and like there's a wreck coming up in 20 miles or whatever on them, right? So they for a long time they said mask up, stay safe. And I'm like, oh cool, Washington Department of Transportation has officially adopted the Antifa slogan. Mask up, stay safe. That's exactly what Antifa's been saying for years now. So good job, Washington. Way to support them, douchebags. More like they are messing with the numbers. No, true story. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing how much YouTube manipulates things. So like at the very beginning of this thing, towards the beginning, I played the Ice-T video, right? And for some reason, YouTube has decided that is I don't know, the video that they've chosen for the month that I can make any money on. And it's just like out of the blue for no reason, it just took off. And I'm not really complaining except for the fact that it's only a minute long and barely over a minute long. So like 50,000 views a day should actually be like decent money for like any one of my normal videos. But, no. So, I mean, yay, I get to pay a couple bills, off of one video, but all the rest of them, they'll be like, nah, you don't need to see those, guys. We don't want to see those out there at all. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Yes, the masks are definitely symbolic. I'm going to see the next time I do this thing, I'm going to try to make it so it doesn't have as much of a delay. So we could probably do this little section of it a little better. But yeah, so I just want to say thank you all. It is 5:45 and I got dinner waiting for me. Yay, food. But I want to thank you guys all for watching. This was actually pretty fun. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'm going to go ahead and lock it up. And let me know what y'all thought in the comments. And check out my book. Check out the website. Go to Telegram so you don't miss anything. And I'll see you all on Saturday for sure. All right, guys. Thank you all. I appreciate all of you very much.